Hey, welcome back everybody. Rusty's Backyard RC. Today we're going to be building a couple powertrains. One that we're going to build is going to go into Junior here, our SCX24 C10, and the other one we'll be saving for another build on down the road. But there's lots of parts down here in the yard, so let's get down here and we'll go over them. Okay, so now that we're down here in the yard, this is the stock motor, transmission, and gearbox housing. And this is what we're going to be changing out. We've got a MarkFire T50T. This is the RS050 brushed motor. This is the high torque motor. This is what we're going to be using for our replacement. And then we have the MT Racing gearbox cover, and that is a part number MTR24003. We'll be using that. And then for our transmission case, we're going to be using the Mount Racing transmission case, and that is a part number MTR24004. And again, I'll have all this stuff listed down in the description below. We're going to be changing out our stock plastic gears with the metal set, and that's by Power Hobby. And the part number on that is PHSXX2427. So these right there, we'll get those down. So let's go ahead and start by pulling apart, taking the outside gearbox cover off first. Should expose our spur gear and our motor, and then we'll want to remove the spur gear first. Take our stock spur gear off and set it off to the side. And now you can see we can get to our motor screws. We can set our stock motor off to the side. The new motor comes with a motor plate or mounting plate, so we'll be using that. And then to separate the transmission set, our transmission. Okay, so basically what we're going to be doing is just replacing all of our plastic gears with the metal ones. We're still going to need to use the shafts and the bearings. First shaft. Drop that bearing in. There. And then we'll need pull that outside bearing. Pull our small drive gear off. We've got our steel one we'll put on. Now it has, you can see, I don't know if it's going to let me show you. It's got like a hex position where that little gear grabs onto. And then go ahead and set that in there. Drop our second bushing down. First bearing. Any binding or anything. Put our next bushing in. There we go. And then we have our outer box. Drop all that in together. There we go. Make sure everything is seated good. Feels good. Okay, we'll take our motor plate. There we are. Okay. Now we can put our screws back in. Now when you're working with these small screws, you do not want to over tighten them. Unless you've got the stainless steel set. If you go to buy the stainless steel set and replace all your screws, then you can tighten them down a little bit more. But with these, the stock screws, they're more of a pop metal, I believe. They're not very forgiving, so it's really easy. If you over tighten these down, they will break. Just gonna get them snug. They don't have to be incredibly tight. See, it's all back in. I'm not feeling any binding on that gear. It feels really good. You may want to put grease on this, or feel like you need to put grease on these. Don't do it. The grease will find its way, it will leach over, and if it gets to the clutch plate, it will ruin your clutch plate. The solvent in the grease, or the grease, will loosen the disc, and it will loosen the adhesive backing on the disc. And once you do that, it just spins, and you don't get any traction, or it doesn't bind at all, it doesn't grab at all, and basically your truck will just sit there, and you'll hear the motor spin, and you'll hear the transmission spin, but nothing else will move because you've the grease has destroyed that. So do not grease these. Do put any grease in here at all. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is put our motor on. Okay, so on the spur gear, the kit comes with a small brass collar. Try to see it there. You want to put that on first, and the reason for that is that there are these two outer screws here. There's one there and one around here, around the corner right here. And those set up significantly, or they set up high enough that without that brass collar, your spur gear will rub on those screws and it won't turn. So even though that the side of the spur gear, or on the back of the spur gear, it has a raised section, you definitely want to make sure that you put that brass collar in. And we'll drop that down, and then we'll see how our motor lines up. Feels really good. Tighten that portion down. There we are. Drop our spur gear back on. Drop our clutch plate down. Oop. There we go. Let's get a small washer that comes with it. And we'll make sure we get that foot down. I usually just put my thumb against that bottom transmission gear right here, and that'll keep everything from spinning while you tighten the other. Tighten that down. There we go. Oh, it feels really good. No issues, no binding, nothing like that. Everything looks to be where it needs to be. Here's a stock setup. So I'm just kind of comparing to make sure that I've got the shafts in the right spot. Everything's faced the right direction and all looks good. We can take our gearbox cover, put it on. And this came with its own set of screws that we're going to use. Okay, there we have it. Here's our new assembly. That looks pretty good. Alright, so let me gather my parts up here real quick. Okay, now we can get it put back in our truck. Here's our chassis. Go ahead and put the drive shafts back on. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pull the battery tray out. That'll make getting that in there, motor in there, a lot easier. Battery tray gives us plenty of room. Get that put back in. Now, when I, because I already pre-fitted this once before, but on the battery tray on the motor side, I had to remove that. This motor is a lot longer than the stock one. We can put the stock one back up against there for comparison. You can see how much longer this motor is compared to our original. So I had to make some room, so I ended up having to clip off the mounting bracket off of that side behind. So okay, we're going to flip it over. You'll see there's 2 screws here on the bottom, but what you want to do is get your drive shafts in. Now when you go to put your drive shaft in, you're going to want to make sure that on the, turn that a little bit, that your knuckles line up so that it doesn't allow, it keeps it from binding. So you need to make sure that, there we go, that those pins are lined up. Better see that. These are the pins I'm talking about, making sure you get those lined up. And then we'll do our back. Alright, flip it over. Okay. And then there is one screw on the transmission side. And there we need to put one more in, and then we'll have it all back in, and we'll throw a battery on there. We'll get the battery tray back on, throw some battery down and in and test it out. Need to manipulate the motor wire. I will end up more than likely zip tying this wire down to that battery tray once I'm done with we're done with all of the upgrades. And let's get us a battery. I know there's one in this guy. This will be another project down the road. I've already got parts for him ready. Okay, battery's in. Let's turn it on. A remote. All right, let's see what happens. That's a good sign. Doesn't sound too bad. Just going to run through the speeds real quick. Go. High speed. Okay, so before we close out today's video, I just wanted to show you real quick the T-reel overdrive gear that we have, the T14 in the front, and I wanted to give you a little visual demonstration of it working. So let's see if we get it going here. Yeah, you can see very definitely that the front wheel is turning, turning much quicker than the back, so catches up for a second and passes it again. Pretty cool, huh? Anyway, so there's Junior. I've got a set of Enduro tires and wheels we're going to do in a separate video. They're over here in the pile. See, there's a whole bunch of parts over there. and I got a lot of work to do. So anyways, hey, thanks again guys for stopping by. Hit that subscribe button if you would please, and ring that bell, because I've got a bunch of stuff coming out. Actually, we're gonna change it up a little bit because we've been working so much on our 1/24 scales. We're gonna get back to some big trucks because spring is coming. So this will be another video you don't want to miss out on. We're going to go ahead and we've replaced the majority of the front end on our Traxxas Stampede here, which made it a little nose heavy, and so I've got the parts now to be able to put on the back, so we'll even that weight back out again. So anyways, thanks again guys, take care, and remember, stay charged.